Take us home.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. I'm your host, David. This is my boy here.
Mike.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, buddy.
Today, another episode, our normal Friday shits and giggles. But just for starters, we want to kind of start this podcast out with a special shout out to Nick Wright. Everybody in Broncos country, you may have heard of this guy Nick Wright here recently. He made this fucking stupid, ridiculous projection of 2-14 for the Denver Broncos this season. 3-13. Oh, sorry, 3-13 projection.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that we give him the appropriate shout out here because his prediction was so realistic.
So Nick Wright, sincerely from the Denver Broncos fan base. Okay, get two of these, sir. Man, when I heard this, man, I thought, how dumb, how lazy can a motherfucker be to make that dumbass prediction? You didn't learn last year from Adam Rank when he made that same dumbass prediction? Dude.
But the difference between Adam Rank and Nick Wright is the fact that Adam Rank has no stake in the game when it comes to being a Kansas City fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Nick Wright is sitting here throwing this out as a Kansas City fan. So what you're basically telling me is you're getting paid to be a professional analyst and you're giving out these biased inputs. Like,
right.
I mean, that just nullifies any relevancy that you have for any opinion. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
like I would have respected him more if he would just came out and be like, hey, everybody, just so y'all know, I'm a Kansas City fan. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Hey, let me go ahead and get this out right now. I ride and die for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm just going to just fucking downgrade everybody. Denver Broncos 3-13. Bro.
I would have had more respect for him, but it still would have just taken away from any fucking legitimacy that he had. So, for the simple fact that, like, you still, I mean, we don't like certain teams, but that doesn't mean that we shortchange them when it comes to legit ranking.
Absolutely.
So as for Nick Wright,
absolutely.
Suck a fucking dick!
So last year the Denver Broncos went 7-9. Right? And so what in the fuck makes you think that we're gonna go 3-13? We have a new quarterback who went 4-1 as a starter, a revamped offense, and a revamped defense. And your dumb ass is going to come out and say 3-13. Again, you get two of these, sir. Sincerely, from the Denver Broncos fan base. Okay? Take that home with you, fucko.
Yeah, and not only that, too. Like, I mean, you can get fucked in general for the simple fact that you should have been fired for that one. I mean, like, if you're trying to play Skip Bayless, that's cute. But I don't like Skip Bayless either because I get so fucking sick of the fact that all he talks about is the Cowboys. Like, to me, this was just such a deterrent from ever watching Fox Sports again or having any involvement with any of their analysts. Like, I used to like Fox Sports on Sundays before the games, and I'm not going to watch them anymore just because of this. Like, I'm tired of them and ESPN just picking up shit boxes to sit here and talk about professional sports just to try and get ratings. And it's like, you look at this nasally clown with his giant Jew nose, and you're going to sit here and tell me that this fucking goon has ever played an athletics. Dude, he got picked last in kickball. This fuckface is the one that's sitting here telling me how a professional athlete is going to play a game. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, man. So, Nick Wright, since you was bitch enough to make that dumbass prediction, I hope you're man enough to come out and write whatever column, go on Fox Sports 1, whatever the fuck you do, go on whoever's podcast and be like, hey, I was wrong. Denver Broncos were way better than I had projected them to. At least you can fucking do that. I mean, since you didn't do your job in the first place, at least you can go back and just try to, save face and be like, all right, I fucked up. I clearly I need to quit my job because I'm not good at it. So just let me go back and just try to correct it.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that happening, especially when you look at this face right now. I mean, that just looks like the face of somebody who he was probably born with the balls to stand up and admit his wrongdoings.
Yeah. Because I got a feeling it's a lot of them. If you make dumbass predictions like that on the regular, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of those.
Just look at this fucking face, bro. Like, I've never watched a single episode of this guy. Even before I knew who the fuck he was, I just came across it and I was like, this fucking, look at that. He's got like gumbo lips and this little stupid fucking nose. And this guy's going to talk to me about professional athletes. Like, he puts me in a predicament where I don't feel bad about me passing judgment on professional athletes just because at least I can say that I've been to the gym once in my life. This guy hasn't been to the gym once because of the fact that his body eats every ounce of fucking carb or protein as soon as it goes in because it can only process about maybe 1,000 calories a day. Look at this little
man. That shit doesn't make it to his mouth.
Look at this string being fucked, bro. Like he's got like a weird little. He's got that little turkey cobbler gullet too. He's trying to cover it up with this stupid little half a beard.
Mike, there's no way anything makes it into his mouth. It hits his nose first. It hits his nose first, man.
Dude refuses to eat any type of dressing with his food. Oh, his entire, like his first fucking 16 years of his life, he got embarrassed at Thanksgiving because every time he'd come up from eating up something, they'd be like, doing that awkward thing at the Thanksgiving table where it's like, well, this guy's a fucking animal because this obviously has no idea that he can't eat his food without wearing it. So, do we tell him straight up, or do we just kind of like give him the subtleties, little hints that, hey, by the way,
yeah, he got shit on his nose. Imagine this motherfucker eating a powdered donut, walking to the office. Hey, Nick, hey man, is there something you want to tell us? You've been hitting the booger sugar a little bit.
Dude, this guy could eat a guy's butthole out the night beforehand, come into work the next day, and people still would be like, hey, what's that? Oh, I am going to jail, but I don't like the Broncos because they're going to go 3-13 this season. Well, I hate to break this to you, Nick, but I mean, newsflash, you still got shit on your nose, bro.
Yeah.
So you might want to take care of that before you're going to sit there and do, in front of the camera and do analysis tonight. So.
All right, man. I'm off this clown. Fuck this guy.
It was good. I mean, I'm going to add him, but I'm definitely not going to give him the satisfaction of his ranking. So.
No, of course not.
But let's talk about the other big one we got going on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, this next one is like fucking, dude. People have too much time on their hands, man. Like, how does this happen?
Bro.
Like, you have two rookie cornerbacks who committed armed robbery.
Not rookie, one rookie.
Yeah, okay, one rookie.
The other guy damn well knows better.
Well, okay, so this whole thing I'm trying to figure out. How do they know each other? Because one plays for the Giants, the other one plays for Seattle.
Right, you remember Dunbar jumped ship from the Cowboys and went to the Giants last season. And then they drafted Baker last year, and he stunk. But I mean, he's still their second round draft pick, so out of Georgia.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of people said he had a lot of character concerns coming out of college anyway. I mean, he wasn't a well-liked dude in the locker room. I mean, X, Y, and Z. He had just all kind of question marks. So that was really stupid. Man, it's just, I mean, it is kind of disappointing because, again,
yeah, for sure.
At this point in your life, you're doing dumbass shit like that, dude. You have made it, okay? Fuck what everybody else says, sir. You have made it. You have made it to a level motherfuckers are never going to reach. and you do this bullshit, motherfucker, you be lucky to ever play the fucking game again. Now, I can't go in just too hard on the guy because I don't know all the details or what the fuck ever happened and all this other dumb shit. But it was just like, what now? Like armed robbery. Yeah, I mean that's like, that's worse than the NFL player that got busted with like 200 pounds of marijuana coming back from Mexico or some shit.
Was that Wilkerson?
It's something like that.
Everybody in New York apparently this off season, so
yeah.
But
it's fucking ridiculous.
So let me play devil's advocate. I don't blame Baker. Okay. When I sit here and I look at this scenario, because both of us, we're in our 30s now. We're old enough to recognize when somebody in a position of maturity is playing mentor to a younger individual who you already know is impressionable. And when I sit here and I see what's going on, it tells me that that guy led this individual who's in his very early 20s and still very impressionable, because I mean, we don't legit mature until about 24, 25.
Right.
Into a predicament where it's pretty much just fuck the rest of this dude's life. And
oh yeah.
I mean, he's done. Like his career in sports, like, I mean, you do armed robbery, bro. There's not really coming back from that. I mean, it's just unfortunate. I mean, we could sit here and we can throw a couple cracks about Talib, busting a round off and hitting himself in the leg. That sucks. But it's a whole different ball game when you're going out and you're doing betting and gambling, and then you're holding people up. And on top of that, one, fuck Dunbar, because he damn well knows better. He should have turned himself in at this point for the fact that they got a warrant out for his arrest. But even worse, the fact that he hasn't put Baker on the straight and narrow to at least try and have some sort of recompense for his situation and try and get him to turn himself in, so that way, he can at least recuperate from what little leverage he has for a career yet. So, which it was bad from a physical standpoint last season for the Giants. He stunk. And it's even worse now in this predicament. So the older, wiser me is saying, it really stinks for Baker. Dunbar can suck a fat cock. I hope this ends up bankrupting him. But I feel bad for Baker because you're a product of whoever the fuck takes you under their wing and leads you. So
right. And I think other people have to. I mean, I'm pretty sure with him being in that special fraternity of being a NFL player and being around, just countless number of people, you got to pick and choose who you really gravitate towards.
Right.
Do you gravitate towards this journeyman who's kind of bouncing around, hopping around, or do you gravitate and you surround yourself with people that, hey, these guys have been there, they've done that, they're elites, they have been elites. Like, hey, let me surround myself with these type of people. Let me work out where I'm. Like, dude, if I'm assuming if you have access to all this shit and you're in the Giants organization, come on, dude. Like, you really gotta pick and choose who you surround yourself with. That's like something that I tell my son all the time. He's at that age to where, I try not to be that overbearing parent, but I really have to monitor and watch who he's following, looking at,
for sure,
and stuff like that. Because I tell her straight up, like, no, motherfucker, you don't get the wrong impressions. Like, some of this shit that you watching, no, like that, not going down like that. I'll shut that shit down in a heartbeat.
Well, the good thing,
not who you want to grow up to be.
And from a parental standpoint, dude, like, that's one of the great things about you and your son is the fact that, like, when he jumps on, you can tell the kid's he's got a good head on his shoulders. Like, just with what you've had going and stuff like that, he knows who his true mentor is, and he knows who really loves and appreciates him. I know the circumstances that brought him to that point aren't exactly the greatest. But at the end of the day, dude, like, every time that guy has a conversation, in another 4 or 5 years, bro, every time someone brings up his dad, whether you're around or not, he's at least going to, like, tear up just a little bit in the background. We've all done that shit. Just knowing, like, having that great father figure in our lives and knowing what they mean to us. Like I said, dude, just what you've done for your son is fantastic. And Baker, I feel bad for the guy because I feel like that's that one role model that he may not have had, and because of that, he's in this predicament as a young, impressionable individual still. And I mean, that would explain why he probably has, like, off the field issues at Georgia. I don't recall any of those. Obviously, you do, but in this predicament right now, I mean, you're when you get into the locker room and you get into a room with the individuals who are specifically oriented around what you do as a profession, that's the main family you got right there. I mean, the rest of the crew is the team, but your family is the specific guys that you work hand in hand with, that train you, that teach you, so if you said a great term earlier with gravitate. I mean, if you gravitate towards one of them because they take you under their wing, especially with the hopes that, they're making millions of dollars a year because of where they came from and where they are now, like, you just don't know anybody. You hope that they got your best interest at heart. And unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the circumstance with Baker in this situation with Dunbar.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody, don't worry. While I'm cussing and ranting and flipping the camera off, my son is not here, so he can't hear any of the bad shit that I'm saying right now.
Which is too bad. Gives you one more reason to ham him up. Sometimes you got to put the old peoples down. This is how he knows at the end of the day, like Dad's got that soft spot in his head. He's like, "Oh, Dad's a bitch," and it's like, get up, drop the headphones, and go beat his ass.
But on a brighter note, man, I think we got some very positive news that on the 19th of this month, NFL facilities are going to start opening back up and shit. So in your mind, so just in your mind, so I guess the first thing that kind of happens is what? You go into rookie mini camp, then you go into OTA, right? So I don't
even think they do that. I think they roll right in OTAs because rookie mini camp was supposed to be a couple weeks after the draft.
Right. But I guess since everything is kind of, I would say since they're opening up so early, everything is kind of pushed back. So I feel like maybe the rookies need that time to kind of, because right now you're just in there. Your head is spinning. You're doing all this virtual learning. And I mean, honestly, everybody don't learn that way. Everybody doesn't learn, okay, X's and O's written on the board and shit. Maybe they have to get out there and actually physically do it. So would it be, so in your opinion, do you think it's beneficial to actually set aside that dedicated time for rookie mini camp, then going to OTA or
no.
what?
No, I say throw them out to the wolves, dude. Like, let's not kid ourselves. You're looking at that from a perspective of, okay, they don't get the digital learning, but on the other, flip the coin to the other side. Like, what about if they don't do the physical learning right off the bat? If they don't do the classroom environment for the first week or the first week or two after the draft happens, and like, I don't really learn too much. Let me just start throwing passes. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, trial by fire is the number one way to prove in the NFL whether or not you're going to make it. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, you're making a profession out of that. And that's one of the awesome things about the Broncos, dude, that I love so much. And one of the great things shout out at Cody Rourke for, which he's, by sounds of it, he's on board for jumping on at some point in time during the preseason, is addressing the fact that Denver is great at picking up undrafted talent and throwing them out to the roster, giving them the opportunity and letting them shine. And I feel like there's so many teams over the years. in my heart of hearts, that's why I've loved Denver so much, is the fact they've got, 11-year streak going right now of having an undrafted rookie on the roster by the end of the 52-man, which I think this year is supposed to be 53-man. So, like, they've done so well at bypassing just this persona that we have to only take the people that have been drafted, and they have taken the people that are the best on the fucking roster and put them on. That's what's made us so spoiled as fans for so long with the Broncos. Super Bowl wins or not, they still made it to the promised land. Buku amounts of time. And they've had winning seasons. I mean, we've had 3 losing seasons in 3 years since 1972, and we're bitching about it. But it's not even like really losing seasons. It's 7-9. Like, I mean, that's how spoiled we are as fans. We haven't had a first overall draft. I can't remember since when
ever.
Yeah. So I mean, the last one was Von Miller, and the guy ended up being a Super Bowl MVP. So like I said, dude, just the spoils of war that we have as being Broncos fans. I've got no complaints, dude. I can't wait to see how the preseason turns out. I think there's going to be at least 2 guys, one from Wake Forest at least, that's going to end up making the roster. And I think that one of our draft guys is going to end up on the practice squad. So, and that's going to be something that we talk about down the road, not now, but.
Yeah, I'm interested because before all this stuff happened, I know Drew Lock was planning some passing camps, like getting all his weapons together and kind of sitting down and just throwing the ball and working on shit like that. But I'm really, really anxious to hear about, okay, hey, now that we're open back up, hey, everybody, let's get out there as fast as we can so we can just hit the ground running. But yeah, man, that's great that at least we're like, okay, everything is good. We can go ahead and get out there. Now, it's going to suck for some people. Some people are still going to be Steve Billy behind the 8 ball. I mean, they're not going to fucking open up the same time everybody else do. But, I mean, oh, well, fuck them.
Not our problem. Well, that's a great thing about being at Mile High, too, is the first month of the season. What are we? We have the highest statistic, too, for the last, 20 years of first week at home. Just for the simple fact that playing at altitude is not a fun game, bro. So
no.
Yes, especially not when any ounce of I've been drinking. I can't think of the word. But your stamina. So especially when your stamina, your cardio, you already are just trying to get into the swing of things when it comes to the physical aspects, physical nature of playing the NFL. We're already behind the 8 ball with them being a month behind now for even taking a pass. But between humans, dude, everything has been neuropathologically like this is 1990s Demolition Man-esque that we've been living in. Like the Elon Musk future is what we've been going through right now. And nobody's done any physical aspect whatsoever when it comes to, or supposedly, for doing this. So it's gonna be wild just seeing what people's legit card. I'm not concerned about Jerry Jeudy. Don't get me wrong, just because of that guy's training regimen. But I mean, just overall to see how the rest of professional athletes end up panning out now, because we've all been secluded to our homes for the better part of a month or 2 months now. Jesus Christ, 2 months.
Yeah, man, just anxious and ready. All right. Well, everybody, that has been another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. Do us a favor, subscribe, reach out to us, message us, inbox us. Me and Mike, we are very active on Twitter. So if you send us some messages, we'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. But hey, appreciate y'all for watching. See y'all next time.
Absolutely.